Hello there, and as usual, I'm Aaron from LastStandGamers, and welcome. So today I wanted to show you around a station that I've been working on. Now, it's been quite some time since I built myself an Asteroid station, and I thought I'd build myself a hydrogen reclamation center. Now, the idea of this place is that it takes hydrogen ships and converts them into iron ships for a little bit more function, but the whole idea of this place is more of a set piece than an actual functioning place. So you can see as we come down into this asteroid, we've got this massive circular area in the center, and we've got various stages of different parts, different ships that are being broken down. You can imagine the engineers working on different areas. We've got hydrogen storage of tanks. I thought I'd just show you around this place and give you some ideas of when it comes to building carved out places like this and what sort of things you can do. Now, first off, you can notice that I've changed the texture and cut out. All I've done here is used the little bit of a block, the voxel tool, and cut myself nice consistent squares into the actual asteroid itself. And then on top of that, I came back in and inserted these pillars using the voxel tool. So we've got these really nice straight pillars that remind me of some sort of concrete material. And to get this concrete material, all I've used is the moon surface that I think is the closest that you can actually get. And then I decided to detail them up. Now, the first part of detailing for these sort of places is a little bit of hydrogen tanks onto each one of the walls. Now, since this is a reclamation yard for hydrogen tanks and stuff of that sort of caliber, we don't imagine there's going to be a lot of spare hydrogen going around, so you can imagine it being stored up in these tanks. So we'll go through each of the areas. So the first area, this was the last area that I actually built. I just wanted like a crazy pipe area that looked really cool and really nicely bit of detail. So we've got pipes going up and down into the ceiling as well as the hydrogen. So you can imagine this is a highly pressurized area. I wanted to maybe add some effects in here, maybe have some like pipe leaks and different things. We'll have to see what I can do with some damage blocks later on. But that's the first little area. You'll notice that there's lots of detailing on boxes that have been stacked on top of each other throughout this place, and each one of these has been individually placed by me, and it's took absolutely ages. Now, the second thing you're going to notice as we move through this facility, look at that light casting that beautiful little shadow there, is that we've got these cargo crates. And one of the ideas that I had is when these are being moved between the two areas, that a lid is put on these cargo areas so that the crates and the boxes don't go absolutely everywhere. Obviously, gravity is applied in these zones, but when it ventures out across into the central area and in space, then you're going to need some way of keeping all your cargo boxes strapped together. So as we move into this area, it's just a nice little fenced off zone, and we've just got some more storage. Now, moving into this next area, we've got the first ship that is getting broken down. And I've used one of the modifications that I really like, and this is the scaffolding modification. And basically, by using this, you can see how the cockpit's been taken off the front. You can imagine the different engineers working along the ship at the sides. We've also got these ladders, or these steps going up to the side of the ship as well, perfect for them docking sequences. And you can imagine that this ship is broken down, and it's getting transferred from hydrogen to iron thrusters. So let's keep working our way. So moving on to this next little bay here, I imagine that maybe a company had placed in a little bit of a larger order. Maybe they've got a whole fleet of ships that need to be refitted, and so you can see that we've got a number of these ships that have been propped up on these jack stands. Maybe the company didn't quite meet the order, they didn't pay the money on time, so these ships have just been left in this hangar area, slightly stripped, slightly broken down. You might notice these ships from another video that I did where these were smaller little cargo ships that I built with these beautiful little interiors and so on. And you can see we've got access points to them at the side so the engineers can come aboard, de-strap the hydrogen thrusters and strap in the iron thrusters. But I just thought it'd be a cool idea to have these ones incomplete, like the order hadn't been met, or the company hadn't paid their bills on time, or they could have even gone bankrupt. So these guys have just been sitting here for quite a bit of time indeed. Now, moving on to the next area, I thought since this is a hydrogen shop changing places, there's going to be a lot of spare hydrogen thrusters lying around. So I thought this little zone would be to dump them in. So we've got some hydrogen thrusters in the cargo containers. We've got some that have been propped up here. We've got some in the boxes. I've also made some of the boxes look like they've fallen over. Just look at the lighting on that. I love how the lighting's cast that shadow. Just breaks up the whole shape there. So each one of these areas has just been detailed one of these blocks at a time, stuck some barrels in different areas and put these in the different cargo containers just to create this effect of a place that's been used, or this could even be a place that's been abandoned, I guess, if you turn the lights out and damage some components. So as we move through to this next area, you can see we've just got more storage, more crates that have been left around with various different supplies you can imagine. In this particular part, I've actually stacked two of these hydrogen tanks on top of each of them, put some vents against the concrete wall there just to give it a little bit of effect, a bit more detailing on that excess wall. And as we come into this area, this particular place is a ship that has been taken down, and the engines have actually been harvested off it. You can see at the side here, these are being broken down by separate engineers. You could imagine them working on this, taking these parts off, storing them in the crates. and so on and so on. As you can see, we've got a few different access points here with these little bits of scaffolding. The scaffolding looks so beautiful when you combine it with a ship. We've also got some tools there on the rack. You can imagine them using to disassemble the ship. The only thing that I've realized now I come to look at that is there's actually no way to get on this scaffolding point up at the top, over the top of the ship. Maybe I need to build some ladder up the side. So if we do a quick look through this ship, you might recognize this one from quite a few builds ago, from a build off that we did where we had to lift off a ship from a planet. So we've got two doors on the side. Look at that, combining into the sun area there as well. Sometimes things like this in Space Engineers just blow me away. Just such a fun place. Even though it's not super functional, it just looks absolutely great. So we've got a few more engines there and more cargo containers. So we're going into one of the final areas now. And what I wanted to do here was have a dropship that had landed, but what ended up happening with this is it looks like it's kind of part of the environment itself. So the idea is that these engines that have been scrapped are maybe being sold back onto the black market. They're being loaded aboard this freighter ship. We've got a few cargo containers and different engine pods there. So these can be transported back down to a planet and then sold to people that need hydrogen thrusters, or in areas of the galaxy where hydrogen thrusters are the best economical way of traveling around. So as you can tell, a lot of thought has gone into this place, and I think there's going to be quite a lot more to do on it. I want to build like a more outer area. You can see at the moment it's very sort of secretive within this asteroid itself. You can't really tell it's in there unless you fly through it. Look at that ring sort of pattern as well it's created there. So the idea is maybe sort of expand out onto these upper areas, but I don't know. You'll have to let me know in the description below, or the comments below, to see what else I should add to this particular build. Maybe you've got something in mind, maybe you've got an idea of, maybe they need a crew quarters or something. I'm not particularly sure. There's just so much to build and so little time. Anyway, I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and I will see you